Hello traders, this is a DAX recap video for Thursday, August the 29th. As always, these small triangles represents the zones that got updated or adjusted, and today I added this support level in adjusting the main support zone just to have it still on the chart. And here I gave you an example from yesterday, how one of the subscribers executed yesterday aggressively here on back test of this minor support that now act as resistance. Here was his entry, and he got later a very good trade. And I would really prefer to show you what kind of trades and thinking the other subscribers have because of the younger traders, to see with their own eyes how other people that are subscribers are using this material, and not just how I use the material. I often show my trades just for that same reason, to show you how some of the trades are doable to execute. Now let's go in this part of a trading plan. So this was the situation in the pre-market, 806. I said about pre-market high and low references that could be important for gauging the market strength, and also that we have two unfilled gaps relatively close to each other, and that the market could easily fill them both on the way toward this yesterday high zone. Because yesterday RTH high zone 700 to 715 was here very close to the price, and also the high of the day, which was made in pre-market, was basically touching this gap. As we know, cash index gaps can be filled only in regular trading hours session. I said the strong market would not go much lower than this 655 to 670, and that we should expect buyers on the pre-market low zone. When we make a fib out of this move, this was a perfect 61.8 from yesterday low, and yesterday they made a triple bottom on the zone. I said in yesterday recap video, in the evening of yesterday, when you observe that they made a triple bottom here, unlikely that we are going to see a move below this anytime soon. Anytime soon in day trading means unlikely to get that today. I said also that above yesterday RTH high zone, we have this zone here, 765 to 780, where sellers could react on first test, and later we will see that they indeed reacted there. And of course that first better resistances are here, this with the ticker lines, and of course large time frame resistance, where we are expecting a reaction. This is a zone from large time frames and also represents the top of a range inside the DAX for the full month. So as said here, strong up day would be required to break above the 870, because we started here and the pre-market low was here at 630. And also for today, 8-year was important. Knowing what the market can do and what is the current 8-year is very important in day trading. Now let's observe the market. This was the pre-market session here, like 820. So in this phase, market is not open yet. What can you do now? Of course, you have watched the recap video for yesterday, you have read the morning notes, you know the charts, you know what are the good zones, what are the minor zones like this one that you have to unfill gaps. And you could also observe here, you can see that you can make a trend line here, you can make a trend line here like this and like this, and you will have some other references which are going to be good and useful to you in gauging the market strength. What we got here open right at support. As said in the morning notes, market that is strong would not go much lower than this. And you can observe here that they basically bought the 61.8 fib retrace of this move in pre-market. So we are having this triple bottom here, we are having buyers active here. Now we got open here. As said in the morning notes, no trouble from here would be for market to fill both of these gaps, and that is why our first target would be here. This was a doable trade. I did this trade, 20 point stop, 60 point target to here, and you would get a pretty fast fill. Of course later it turns out to be a much better move, and knowing what the A tier is, which is of course on daily chart, knowing that it is, you can see it here, 206 points, and we have so far in these several days A tier of around 200 points. Simple math would be then that from pre-market low, because that A tier is on CFD charts which having the exact same working hours as futures, so 200 points is something that you could expect. From 630, 200 points is to 830. That means that we could get a test of larger time frame resistance. Now we got a hard move to the upside, and targets, first target is here, second targets are front running these higher zones. On major resistance, of course we know minor zones are not to be faded. Minor zones we use in majority of cases to gauge the market strength for targets and of course for entries, but on a pullback like this. We have sharp move to the upside, pullback to the broken resistance zone that now act as support, and this is our long trade from here. Also it is a good thing to make fibs from the opening move, especially when you have an open drive like this. This was an open drive higher, and you could make a fib like this, and you will see that market reacted here on 38.2. The absolute same thing was on S&P yesterday and today. Buyers reacted on the 38.2. When buyers don't allow bigger pullbacks than 38.2, that is the move of a strong market. So market was signaling to us that it is strong by making a 100-point move in 15 minutes. Now if you are flat and you know that this is a better resistance zone, but you are flat, you missed the long, you have two choices. Option 1 is to wait for a pullback. Option 2, maybe you want to fade the zone. Now you know in this period of time that of course you operate only with the real-time information that is saying to you that this is a hard move with good momentum, and if you want to fade this and if you want to try to sell this, you will do so at the back end of a zone using a larger stop and expecting to get some kind of pullback, maybe toward this minor zone that got broken, toward this gap. Once you are in the trade, you that are a seller and everybody else who is on the sidelines, everybody now grab a fib to this and see sellers using 38.2 as exit, buyers using 38.2 broken minor resistance zone that could act as support, in confluence with the fib retrace to get in the trade. After we observed that the buyers made a higher high and they pulled back again, this is the alternative, just alternative way to go on a long side, because these two, the best possible entries, were gone here. At 10 o'clock, after 1 hour, best options to go long are gone. Now you are going to wait for pullbacks. Now we have here first test of this better resistance zone, and this could be of course a short opportunity for us, but once you observe that almost nothing is happening here, you should make yourself a trend line like this. Now you are observing what is happening now here. Shallow pullback, just a shallow pullback, like 10-point pullback or 15 at best, and now you are again here. So if you are selling 10, this is a 15-point zone, you should really use at least 20 points stop, if not more, and be ready if the market is stop you to act here again. So this is optional because these zones are pretty close to each other and the market showed us strength. And now they are doing this. So we know when market is doing this, it is usually not the end of the move. So in this period of time, it was a good chance for market to go all the way to larger time frame resistance. And that is why you should really scratch this trade if you attempt a short from here. Just scratch it for few points loss, few points win, whatever, break even, scratch that. And wait. First test of the larger time frame resistance is a sell for us by default. And now we are going to wait, because we know that on larger time frame supports or resistance, the two sides can fight for some time. Most swift reactions are not going to be on those kind of zones, especially if market is approaching to zone like this. You will get, however, a swift reaction if market goes parabolic, like boom, to the zone, and then it usually get a hammer from here. That hammer would also go to some fib retrace, to some zone, or maybe even a full reversal. Now we are going to observe again on a 1 hour chart, and as shown in yesterday recap video, both top and bottom edge of this upper range was tested several times. And buying here this resistance in expectation of a breakout was a loser each and every time. Loser here, loser here, loser here. Now what they are doing here, they are making here basically a bull flag, and they will attempt to go higher, most probably again. And again we are going to have the same scenarios: failure, breakout, or false breakout. But as we know, zone are not going to be stronger by multiple tests. It's going to be weaker. And the same goes for this support. Let's go back to this chart with zones and observe these opportunities. So this was the opportunity, of course, for us to sell, but then you observe that they're not doing anything constructive here. And as time go by and nothing is happening here, of course you could just hold for hours and do nothing with your stop above the zone, because invalidation point is above this gap, and just to hold and to wait for a bigger pullback, because it would be normal to get something out of this zone, not just 10 or 15 points. But you could also close for some small gain and wait, because at this period of time, when it's already 2 p.m. and here is noon, so this is 2 hours of market doing nothing. At 2 p.m. it is crystal clear now that they are waiting for the US Open. They are waiting for US to show the direction, and US made a huge move in the overnight session for them, and are going to open 30 points away from their own previous cash close, meaning that we could expect a inventory correction first, or down move toward the gap. It doesn't have to be filled, but toward gap, and it is a low odd really trade to try to buy this. And the same goes for the US market. And finally we got here, and US market made a move down, DAX made a move down, but this lasted from 12 to 4:30. So 4.5 hours took for DAX to make a better move. Once they're starting to make a move, again your job as a trader is to make a fib and to observe where it could go, and it gone right to the halfback, as one of the subscribers noticed, and he showed his chart. Again, make a fib from the beginning of the RTH session. Observe how this zone acted here as resistance, here as support, again served as support, and then the zone is in confluence with the 38.2, and the half wick is a few points below the zone. And there was a entry for buyer, again zone to zone trade, or to expect market to test this zone again. Gap is not filled. Even if they would test it now at 7 p.m. it wouldn't be filled, because this is also of course cash in this gap, and as such can be filled only in regular trading hours. So this is what subscribers of Daily Dose of DAX service is getting every single day: morning notes, chart with zones, additional charts, and here is the page for subscribers, Daily Dose of DAX page, for downloading material, for watching recap videos, also for subscribers only, members archive of past material and videos. And educational video page is for the educational videos that I made. Some of them are on my YouTube channel public, and some like question and answer videos or videos on members demand are the ones that are made exclusively for subscribers. About this service you can find out more, of course, on the homepage, and you can see dozens of examples here on example page if you are interested in this service. And that is it for this edition of DAX Recap videos. I wish you good trading and good evening.